Bismillah, Bismillah. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning, boys and girls. Welcome to today's lesson. And our lesson today, I want us to start where we stopped last time. During our last lesson, that was on Tuesday, we talked about the correlatives. We talked about a few correlatives that those were. We talked about either or. We talked about the use of neither nor. We talked about no sooner had than, scarcely had when. Sorry, we didn't talk about those one, but we talked about either or and neither nor. I think those are two correlatives that we talked about. I explained to you what a correlative is, whereby we said correlatives are words that are usually used together in a sentence. Some of these correlatives are conjunctions, while others are adverbs. For instance, both and are correlative and are conjunction. Bury head, when, are correlative, in which bury is an adverb, while when is a conjunction. We started around there are more than 15 correlatives, whereby I was able to take you through the use of either or and neither nor. So today I want us to continue from where we stopped by starting to look at the correlative. Number one, the use of no sooner had than, scarcely had when, barely had when, and hardly had when. Those are the first part of the correlative I want us to look at today. So kindly make sure you have all the necessary materials and make sure that you attentively listen and follow the lesson. No sooner had than, scarcely had when, barely had when, hardly had when. These four pairs of correlatives mean that immediately after one thing happened, a second one followed. Immediately after one thing happened, a second one followed. This is what they mean, that immediately after one thing had happened, a second thing followed, or a second one followed. That is just after, or as soon as, just after the first action happened, the second one followed. These correlatives are used to emphasize the short interval between the first action and the second one. So here we have two actions. The first one happens, and immediately after the first one happens, and immediately after the first action has happened, a second one follows, or a second action follows. So if you want to, or when it comes to exam, a sentence that is showing there is an action that took place, and immediately after that action another action happened or another action followed, you are supposed to use no sooner had than, scarcely had when, barely had when, or hardly had when. Let us look at these two examples. No sooner had the cock crowed than we woke up. No sooner had the cock crowed than we woke up. So the cock crowed. This is the first action. The cock crowed. And then what followed? You woke up. No sooner had the cock crowed than we woke up. So immediately after the cock had crowed, you woke up. Hardly had the cock crowed. Hardly had the cock crowed when we woke up. Hardly had the cock crowed when we woke up. So after the cock had crowed, you woke up. That is use of no sooner had. You're supposed to use there scarcely had when, barely had when, hardly had when. Make sure you follow this attentively because sometimes they do confuse learners. The next part, prefer to, prefer or, rather than, rather all. Prefer to is used in a statement. When you are referring or you are talking in a statement is where we use prefer to. But if it is a question, in a question we use prefer or. Prefer or in a question. Prefer to in a statement. Rather than in a statement. Rather or in a question. Prefer to is used the same way as rather than. These are used the same way, both in a statement, to show that the speaker likes one thing than the other. In a statement or a sentence, you use this prefer to or a rather than to show that the speaker, you who you are speaking, likes one thing than the other. You like one thing more than the other. For example, Ian prefers porridge to tea. Ian prefers porridge to tea. This means he likes the first one more. That means he likes porridge than tea. So he prefers porridge than tea. He likes the first one, that is porridge, than to the second one, that is tea. We would rather take porridge than tea. We would rather take porridge than tea. We would rather take porridge than tea. So you like porridge than tea. You prefer porridge than tea. So it means you like the first one than the second one. Prefer or is used the same way as rather or, to ask a person what he or she likes more. So if you want to ask somebody what do you like more or what she likes more, you use prefer or rather or. For example, would you prefer tea or porridge? Would you prefer tea or porridge? Would you rather take tea or porridge? Would you rather take tea or porridge? You just mean the same thing. Just the same thing. You are asking somebody what does he or she prefer tea or porridge? Would you rather take tea or porridge? So the main difference is here is that when you are using prefer to, that is in a statement. Prefer or is in a question. Rather than is a statement, rather or is in question, and they are used in the same way. Prefer to, rather than, same. Prefer or, rather or, the same thing. Both and, not only but also. These correlatives are used to show addition of information. The two of them, both and, are not only but also, the two of them are used to show addition of information. Examples: the travelers were both hungry and tired. The travelers were both hungry and tired. Not only were we generous, but also polite. Not we. Sorry, there is a spelling mistake here. It's supposed to be we. We. Not only were we generous, but also polite. Another is an addition. The travelers were both hungry and tired. Both hungry and tired. Not only were we generous, but also polite. So, the use of so, that, to, for, or to, and such that. These correlatives are used to show how extreme or great something is, not as. Is. Here supposed to be is. Sorry for the typing error. These correlatives are used to show how extreme or great something is. It is a typing error here, supposed to be is. For example, Anne was too tired to walk. How extreme or great something was. Anne was too tired to walk. Anne was too tired that she could not walk. She was too tired to walk. She was too tired that she could not walk. In both sentences, the tiredness was so great that it prevented Anne from walking. The tiredness was so great that it prevented Anne from walking. Only when that, not until that. These also are used in the same way. These correlatives are used to emphasize the fact that something happened only because another one happened. These correlatives are used to emphasize the fact that something happened only because another one happened. Example, it was only when my mother talked to me that I stopped smoking. It was only when my mother talked to me that I stopped smoking. So the first thing happened. Something happened only because another one happened. You stopped smoking only because your mother had talked to you. It was not until the police officers came that the mob stopped shouting. It was not until the police officers came that the mob stopped shouting. As the use of as and as is used to make a comparison between two things. It shows that one thing resembles the other. One mentioned, like in similes. As is used to make a comparison between two things. It shows that the one thing resembles the other, one mentioned like or in similes. So if you compare two things or they resemble to, they are just the same. Comparison between two things, we use as. Emma was as hungry as wolf. We were as proud as peacock. So we come to the end of our lesson today. Make sure you copy those notes. The last time, those notes I sent last time, I saw most of the people copied and they sent it for approval. Keep doing the work, keep the journey going. Let us not stop on the way, but let us continue preparing for our final exams. Be blessed. I'll send an exercise today to test on your understanding on the work that you have covered. So kindly, immediately you finish your notes, do that exercise and send it for marking. Have a good day. Be blessed, all of you. Thank you very much.